MMA fans, welcome back to Carl Cruz at MMA. Today we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're doing a little boxing edition. We got undefeated professional boxer Mr. Devin Cushing on the line here. He is taking on Manuel Correa June 6th, or July 6th, rather, Anaheim, California, on the big last man standing Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal card. And wow, what a couple days it's been for you. You were out in Anaheim Thursday. And, whenever I interview Jorge, we always talk about fireworks happening at the fights. Well, there was a lot of fireworks at that press conference. We'll get to in a minute. But overall, what was that like, squaring off with your opponent and just knowing that you're about a month out?
Yeah, man, it's getting close. Like you said, we're about a month out. July 6th is going down. I've never actually been a part of something like that. It was unique. It was a very good experience, and yeah, man, got some face-to-face action with Manuel Correa, and all the talking's done, man. Carlo, all the talking's done. Yeah, man, we're a month out, and it's time to put the action down, man.
So your uncle got you a tough opponent for this one. Very good fighter, very respectful name in the boxing community. What do you think of him as an opponent?
What would you say, Carlo? What do I think as Manuel Correa as an opponent?
Yes.
He's very good, man. I respect him. You got to respect anybody that steps in the ring, the ring at all. And I know, again, you got to respect a grown man with 8-ounce gloves on, and I know that. But I'm gonna be smart, and I plan on making this fight look easy. This is my toughest opponent to date. He's 13-1. He's only been beat by a Russian that was in the Olympics. So man, it's a great opponent for me, man. I'm ready to, I'm 27 years old. I've been doing this since I was 7, 8 years old, man, and I'm just ready for the opportunity. It's time to step it up, one fight at a time, and improve my name, improve myself. Just like at the press conference, man. I know a lot of people don't know my name, know who I am, but come July 6th, I'm coming to change all that, I'm coming to steal the show. I've been working my ass off. Fight got pushed back about, 4 or 5 weeks. That pushed my camp back. That extended my camp a little bit longer. And everything happens for a reason, man. I'm ready to go, and I feel good.
Seems like you guys got into it a little bit during the face-off. What was that all about?
Yeah, man. I just told him when I got up on him, I was just letting him know that it's here, it's time, it's time to get down.
Since your last time in action, you fought over at the Game Bred boxing card, the Roy Jones and Anthony Pettis card last year. You beat a very tough guy in Marciano. You haven't fought since. What? Any reason for the leave of absence here?
Man, to be honest, Carlo, just been I'm my uncle Dean Toole. He helps Masvidal a lot with the Game Bred promotions. They're partners. And shout out Victoria also, their other partner. Yeah, man, I just been waiting on this opportunity. I haven't gotten out the gym. I've stayed in shape this whole year, and man, I just been waiting on this opportunity. And yeah, man, it's time to seize the moment. It's time to seize the moment. So.
Your last time out, you put on a heck of a performance against Marciano, pick up a big win on a big card. Do you feel like you're still riding some momentum from that victory?
Oh, for sure, man. Like I said, I haven't left the gym. I haven't got out of shape. And yeah, man, I had a stellar performance in Wisconsin, and I'm looking to do the same on July 6th, man. I've been doing this my whole life. It's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? As long as I get in there and I'm focused and I do Devin Cushing, I'll be all right.
Well, you may have never done the press conference before until Thursday, press conference like that at least. Do you find any positives in fighting on a card like you did in Wisconsin with a bunch of former MMA guys, bunch of big names? Do you think that gives you some confidence and helps you prepare for something like this?
It motivates me a lot to be on the same card with all these guys. You know what I mean? These guys that I've been watching, You know, even MMA. You know what I mean? Even the MMA guys, Jorge Masvidal, Anthony Pettis, even Nate Diaz. You know what I mean, man? I've been watching those guys for since I was a little kid. You know what I mean? It's man, I'm just living my dream right now, man. You know what I mean? It was a hell of an experience at the press conference. Daniel Jacobs is on the card now versus Shane Mosley Jr. That's gonna be a badass fight. The Miracle Man. Like I said, man, I've watched Danny Jacobs, you know, coming up. Um, and just to be in the same room with all these guys is it's mind blowing, and it's very humbling. And you know, I've just worked real hard to get this to this point, Carlo, and it's all starting to pay off, man. It's all starting to open my eyes up, and yeah, man, I'm excited for all of it, man. It's a hell of an opportunity.
You know, one thing I really like about this card is all the young talent that is on the card. Obviously, yourself, you have Ryan Garcia's brother, you
Yes,
have
sir.
Shane Mosley Jr., you have Amado Vargas,
Yes,
your
sir.
opponent as well. What is it like to be around, you know, those guys specifically, just because maybe you're on a similar path?
Yep. Yeah, man. Just yeah, we are on a similar path. We all got the same goals. You know what I mean? And it's dope. Um, Armando Vargas and Sean Garcia is that's gonna be a good fight. I'm interested to see that fight, see how it plays out. I know they've fought in the amateurs. They got some history behind them, and yeah, man, those guys are hot. They're doing their thing. You can't take it away from them. You know what I mean? They got a lot of eyes on them, and yeah, man. Again, I'm just excited. I'm humbled to be on the card with everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just a little fish. You know what I mean? But you know what they say: the fish keep eating, the little fish keep eating. You know, he turned into a big fish. So, uh, yeah, man, I'm just excited for July 6th.
Were you able to chop it up at all with Danny Jacobs or Fernando
I
Vargas?
I actually got I didn't talk to Armando Vargas. Um, I was close to him. I said what's up to his older brother because after all the bullshit happened, you know, Jorge, you know, I rode in the Sprinter van and stuff to the venue with Jorge Capetillo, and you know, we were all checking on Jorge Capetillo after that. You know what I mean? So we were all in kind of the same vicinity. Um, yeah, man, it was a real respectful guys. I know they all work hard, man, and I got the utmost respect for their camp. And I actually went out there probably about going on 2 months ago. Um, before right when this fight got announced. Um, I went out to Vegas and Jorge Capetillo, man, he's a hell of a gym, beautiful gym, and he opened his arms up to me, man. We got some sparring with some of his guys that he knows, and again, man, just a hell of an experience. Um, yeah, yeah, and I got a picture with Danny Jacobs. Matter of fact, yeah, I got a picture with Danny Jacobs, man. It was like I said, man, very humbling. I watched him as a kid and him fight Triple G, him fight Canelo. It's to get a picture with him and to even be on the same card as him now. It's sick, man. It's sick.
All right, so you kind of just alluded to it, but we got to talk about maybe the elephant in the room, if you will. So towards the end of the press conference, things got crazy. I think that's the best way to say it. Big brawl broke out. Walk me through from your perspective. Where were you sitting? Where were you when Nate and Jorge started getting into it with each other and they started standing off? And where the eventual fight happened, where were you sitting? What were you seeing?
Right in front of me. Right in front of me. I was so they had the stage, obviously. I was in the first row. Um all the way on the left side. Not the end, not the very end seat, but the one next to the very end seat on the very left side. Every by by all of Nate Diaz's boys that was standing on that side. They were standing on that side. And man, it just it happened so quick. You know, Nate hit Jorge with the, you know, face off with yourself again. Um he told everybody that he was tired of all this. He was tired of promoting the fight. And you know, he got up and walked off again. Told Jorge face off with himself. Jorge said, you know, was telling him to just walk away. You know, walk away. And then Nate ended up literally right in front of me, not even a foot in front of me. He turns around and he tells Jorge, "Well, fight me right now, motherfucker." And yeah, Jorge gets down from the stage. He starts walking towards all of Nate Diaz's entourage. And in the video, if you see, there's a little small guy. It's probably my size, honestly. He's in a wife beater, and he shoves Jorge. Jorge is he wasn't really looking to the dude. The dude was to Jorge's right, and he wasn't really looking at this guy. And this guy shoves Jorge, and that's really what started the whole thing. You know what I mean? Jorge kept trying to get to that guy that shoved him, and then two or three other guys step up. It just escalates, man, and a lot of testosterone out there, and yeah, man, it got crazy.
Now, before it happened, did you have a feeling when they were talking a lot of smack in your head? Were you thinking something might go down here right now?
As soon as Nate turned around and said, "Well, fight me right now, motherfucker," and then everybody started going towards each other, I was like, "Damn, this is about to happen. This is about to go down." So yeah, man, it happened so fast. It happened so fast. I don't like I said, it was cool for promotion and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's not supposed to happen and very unprofessional. You know what I mean?
And now, when it was happening, when they were starting to throw hands, when the whole media section collapsed, where were you? Were you in the middle of it? Were you watching from a distance?
I was in the middle, but I wasn't really trying to engage. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, Carlo, um, everybody when that started, as soon as it started escalating, everybody's hard work kind of went into my mind. You know what I mean? My hard work. My father's hard work. Dean Toole's hard work. Dean Toole and his team's hard work. Um, Jorge Masvidal's hard work. Nate Diaz's hard work. Um, Mr. Solomon Ingle's hard work that owns Famio, that's throwing the show. Everybody's hard work was really crossing my mind. And it just crossed my mind, man, that a lot of things were at jeopardy, and I didn't want to jeopardize my fight either, trying to engage in the bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm not on these guys' level again, man. You know what I mean? I'm not on these guys' status level. Not talent level, but status level. You know what I mean? And I ain't got time for the bullshit right now, man. It's all business for me. You know what I mean? I was locked in, but I was right there next to Jorge, trying to get him to, it was just a lot going on. So I couldn't do much, but yeah, man, I was right in the middle, and I tried to back up, man. I tried not to engage into it. I didn't want to hurt my hand or anything. I didn't, possibly get cut. You know what I mean? Just anything, man. I didn't want to jeopardize everybody's hard work, to be honest.
Jorge Capetillo, 73-year-old man.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of sat wrong with me too, Carlo. When after it happened, those guys, it's like they were it's like they picked a fight with a 73-year-old coach also. You know what I mean? It's like it was no respect. And yeah, man, July 6th, it's gonna go down. A lot of animosity now.
After the initial brawl, we all thought it was kind of over, able to get Jorge, everybody back inside the building. Then you see a clip online. Nate Diaz is doing like a little media press conference in a hallway, talking a few questions, and then he says, "Oh, they're about to pull up now." Yells a bunch of explicitives over at a group, and they almost get into it in the hallway. Were you part of that? Were you in that group in the hallway?
Yes, I was in the hallway, and it was crazy, man. Yeah, we were about to get it in the hallway too, and everybody had to break it up. Nate Diaz, obviously, with a huge entourage, probably 2-3 times bigger than our entourage. But yeah, man, yeah, we were about to throw down in the hallway too. Yes, each entourage is on each side of the hallways, and yeah, man, it's just a big just a big shit show.
Capetillo made a good point when he was talking to TMZ. He mentioned, he was like, the Diaz entourage is like 15 to 20 guys. And he's like, all I had was me, Anthony Pettis, Jorge, and Jorge's friend Chris. So, I mean, like
Yep.
four
Yep.
guys versus 15 or 20.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. Nate Diaz, man. They're rolling deep. They're rolling deep for sure. They were probably at least. I got word that Nate Diaz was gave 28 wristbands, so that should just you know, go to tell you. I mean, at least 30 deep for sure, for sure.
From I guess you could say a fan or just a viewer viewpoint online, I think one of the craziest things to me is, in that hallway, I mean, the amount of security guys absolutely losing their mind. I mean, it was kind of funny. It got to a point where it's like you have these random security people,
Yep.
15 or 20, though they've never seen anything like this. And
Yes.
here they are in the middle of this huge brawl.
Yes. I think it just happened so fast for everybody, man. You know what I mean? It went from, you know what they say, it went from 0 to 100 very fast, and yeah, man, I think it shocked everybody. And again, I think more security should have been at the press conference. You know what I mean? Looking back on it, Jorge had a few bodyguards, and then you got obviously Nate Diaz that's 30 deep, but maybe Famio only has, they probably only had maybe 5, 6 security guards. That's really not, when you got 8 fighters on the card, 8 fighters coming to this press conference, you should automatically have double the security. You know what I mean? So I've really felt like security was very short. And maybe Nate Diaz's entourage and them notice this. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man, it all happened so fast, and um, just a big shit show.
Following this incident, I mean, this was trending all over the internet. Anyone in the MMA community, boxing community, were talking about it. And, obviously you mentioned it's not the most professional way to do a press conference, but, when you look at the positive effects, how many eyeballs are going to be on this fight now? Do you think it's going to very increase the audience?
Oh, for sure, 100%, 100%. I know there's gonna be a lot of eyes on this card. Hell of a card. July 6th, Anaheim, California, at the Honda Center. I mean, it don't really get no bigger than this. There's a lot of animosity built up on this fight, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a card to tune into July 6th.
So I've told you this before, but man, you got a cool uncle, man. Dean Toole, really good guy. I think if anyone has crossed his path, anyone has fought on his promotions, anyone has worked with them, I don't think anyone really has anything negative to say. I mean, as a first-class individual, him and Jorge have been always great to me. And I think one thing with Dean, he really cares for the fighters. Obviously, he has to
Yes,
do
he
his
does.
promotion side of thing, but he cares for the guys who are coming on his shows, and he's done a lot for you. Obviously,
Yes,
you being his nephew, he's got you on different cards. He's got you on some big professional cards. This big, massive card. What's it been like
go.
having a guy like that in your life?
Man, Dean Toole is a blessing, man. He's such a such a selfless man, dude. Um, I texted him when I got back home Friday from the press conference. Man, just told him I always thank Dean, and just told him, man, I appreciate all the opportunities he gives me and the positions he puts me in, man. And like I said, man, he's such a selfless guy, um, and he tries to help everybody, man. You can't say nothing bad about him. You know what I mean? He knows the fight game, he knows the business, and yeah, man, he's such a good guy to know. You know what I mean? If you know Dean Toole, you're gonna love him. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. And yeah, man, such a good guy. Like I said, man, he's been in the game a long time. Also, he works very hard, sacrifices a lot, and it shows, man. It shows. Proof's in the pudding.
There's a lot of sacrifices that it takes, even if you are uncle with Dean, even if you have kind of that connection there. Any fighter, MMA, boxing, when they're on your path, when they're coming up like this, There's a lot of sacrifices. You're not making millions of dollars quite
Yep.
yet. You
Yep.
got kids. I'm not sure if you have another job that you do on the side
Yep.
in order to support this, but what motivates you? What motivates you to get through all these sacrifices and just chase your dream?
Yeah, man, just man, I've been doing it so long, man. It says 20 plus years in the game, you know what I mean? I think about that all the time. You know what I mean? All the hours and time that I got into this game. And the same thing with Dean, the same thing with my father. You know what I mean? I think about all the sacrifices we've made for all these years to just to get to this point. And this just like you said, Carlo, I'm still not making millions of dollars, or I'm not world champion yet or anything, but it's so very humbling to how do I word this? It's very humbling to to realize the work that we've put in for all these years, and and it's got us to this point. And this isn't even the top of the mountain. There's still some mountain to climb. A lot of mountain to climb. You know what I mean? So, man, again, man, it's very humbling. I'm blessed. That I'm blessed for my family, man. You know what I mean? And that's what I do it for, man. I do it for my family. I do it for my daughter. I do it for my father. I do it for my mom. I do it for my brother. You know what I mean? And that's what motivates me every day to make the sacrifices. You know what I mean? Not every day is good, but you got to sometimes taste the salt, or you won't know what the sugar tastes like. You know what I mean? So some days ain't gonna be the best days, but those are the days that you got to make count. You know what I mean? Because the good days take care of themselves. So yeah, man, just my family motivates me, man, every day. You know what I mean? To be the best version of myself. You know what I mean? And I'm working on that every day for sure.
Through covering the Game Bread events, I've got to have a little relationship with your younger brother, Dylan. What a great kid he is, great future, great boxer in himself. But what is it like to have a brother who also has the same dreams of you, and, being able to maybe ask him a little advice because you're a little more experienced in your career?
Yeah, man, my brother, he's such a he don't realize it, man, but he don't he's such a big motivation for me. You know what I mean? He when I look at him, it makes me push. You know what I mean? Because I know at the end of the day, he looks up to me. You know what I mean? And I know he's following my every move. You know, this is a dream that I set out on when I was 7, 8 years old. My brother was probably, we're 5 years apart. So, he's probably 2 or 3 years old, and I know he's watched me do this my whole life. And, that's what has made him, follow my footsteps, and that motivates me just right there. That motivates me so much. You know what I mean? And, yeah, man, I wish the best for him. He actually fights in about 2 weeks. He's fighting a boy from Georgia, June 22nd. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited for him. Dylan's gonna be a beast, man. He's gonna be the beast. He's coming right behind me. So mark my words. Yeah.
Do you get more nervous watching him fight than you do when you compete yourself?
Yes, I do actually. I do. I do. Adrenaline. That adrenaline starts to pump when he gets in the ring. I don't know what it is. Just it's yeah, Carlo. I do. I do. I do.
Now, what would a win over Manuel mean to you and mean for your career at this point?
To be honest, man, I mean, it's gonna be the best win on my record. You know what I mean? Best opponent to date. Only has been beat by a Russian Olympian. That's gonna be cool to say. But man, let's not get it twisted. My dreams and my dreams and my aspirations are they uh they succeed way farther than Manuel Correa. You know what I mean? Manuel Correa is just in my way, to be honest. And I'm gonna step on Manuel Correa come July 6th. I'm gonna make him look easy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make this fight easy. Uh, like I said, he on paper he's my toughest opponent to date, but I'm gonna make him look like my easiest opponent to date. You know what I mean? He told me to my face that I ain't fought nobody, but come July 6th, um, come my next fight, not July 6th, come my next fight, my next opponent will be saying the same thing because I'm gonna turn him into a nobody. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I'm gonna step on this dude. I'm gonna make it look like a piece of cake, man. I've been working on this I've been working for this opportunity my whole life. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, man, my goals are to be a world champion. Manuel Correa, he don't even belong in the same room as me, much less the same ring as me. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be satisfying, but it's not gonna be uh winning a world title. You know what I mean? Like winning a world title or something. You know what I mean? Or a title eliminator fight or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. This dude's a fucking clown, and I'm gonna knock him smooth out. I'm gonna box his head off, and I'm gonna knock him smooth out.
You've been very loyal to your hometown, Pensacola, Florida. Obviously, a fighter like you, undefeated like this, you could go on, you could train at other areas, you could go to different gyms around the country if you want to, but you're staying with Roy Senior. What has it been like training over at there and being able to rep Pensacola?
Oh man, I love Pensacola. I'm born and raised here. You know what I mean? And they give me so much support, man. That's all another thing that gives me a lot of motivation. You know what I mean? To know my hometown is behind me. You know what I mean? That gives me a lot of motivation to, just being some people look up to. You know what I mean? Uh, it's so humbling to be in this position, Carlo, and yeah, man, just very humbling, brother, very humbling.
Do you get recognized around town a lot?
I get noticed here and now and then. Every blue moon. Not by everybody, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, a few, you know what I mean? Some good, yeah, a good amount of people, you know what I mean? Every blue moon when I go out, I'll get noticed. And again, man, that's very humbling, you know what I mean?
So I've got to wrap up here. I forgot to ask this a little earlier, but I'll bring it up now. So following the incident, following everything at the weigh-in, you mentioned earlier, you got to drive in the Sprinter van with Jorge and all them away. What was the mood like? What was that like for everybody?
To be honest, it wasn't. They weren't. Jorge and them were very, just they were chill. They weren't hyped up. Jorge wasn't hyped up too much after when we got into the Sprinter when we were leaving. Um, just pissed. You know what I mean? Just kind of pissed. I could tell. Just a little bit irritated. You know what I mean? Because again, man, that shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I feel like security should have been a little bit more up to par again, and none of that should have went down. You know what I mean? And I know Jorge at the end of the day, he didn't care for that to happen. You know what I mean? He's not supposed to be in those type of positions. You know what I mean? Jorge Masvidal is a multimillionaire, man. He's a prize fighter. He fights for a prize. He don't fight for free. You know what I mean? So, but it was some giggles in there too. You know what I mean? Because Jorge and them know they were only 4 or 5 deep compared to Nate Diaz's probably 30, 40 person entourage, and you seen the guy with the dreads that was leaking and stuff, you know what I mean? That got into the squabble with Capetillo and Jorge Masvidal. So I mean, again, not too irritated or anything, but real. There was some giggles in there too because they handled themselves, man. Compared to how deep Nate Diaz and them were, compared to Jorge and his entourage. Yeah, man, they handle business.
All right, last question for you, Dev. In a perfect world, what goes down when you take on Manuel Correa July 6th in Anaheim, California?
July 6th. I don't think, I know. I'm going to box his head off for about 2, 3 rounds. He's going to get very impatient because this jab's going to be popping his nose every few seconds. He's going to get very impatient. I'm going to beat him up for 2, 3 rounds, box his head off, and then he's going to run into something, Carlo, nasty. He's going to run into something nasty. Just watch. He's going to run into something nasty, and I'm gonna punish him. I'm gonna punish him. If I gotta punish this dude for 8 rounds, I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm not gonna go in there. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna go to work. And the knockout happens. The knockout happens. But hey, man, I'll be satisfied with beating this dude's eyes shut for eight rounds. You know what I mean? So it's cool with me. Whatever happens, I just know ass whooping's coming for sure. So.
All right, well, Devin, thank you so much for talking to me today, man. Good luck to you, and I can't wait to see you return to the boxing ring in California just about a month from now.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Carlo, for having me, brother, on the platform. And tune in July 6th, man. Anaheim, California, Honda Center. Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, Sean Garcia versus Armando Vargas, Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs versus Shane Mosley Jr., Anthony Pettis versus Chris Avila, and Devin Cushing versus Manuel Correa, man. So it's going down.
That's Devin Cushing. I'm Carlo Prusa. Stick around.
Thank you, brother.